Are you running out of space in your Synology NAS? Hi, I'm Yilshan and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below and get all the latest videos. In this video, we're going to go through two simple ways to increase the storage of your Synology NAS. So, what are the two simple ways? The first one is to add drives to extra slots. For instance, if you have a 4-bay NAS and you're only using 2, you can easily just add new drives into those slots. And the next way is, for instance, if you're using a 2-bay NAS and they are full already, you just have to increase the drives in each of those slots. So let's go to that in more detail. So the first way is adding drives to extra slots. So if you have a 4-bay NAS, for instance, and you're only using 2, when you're adding drives, you just add the same or larger the capacity of that drive into the extra slots. Sounds simple enough. But one thing to note is sometimes when you're adding the larger capacity, the calculations may not exactly get the storage that you think. Here's an example, for instance. Say you've got a system which has two 3 terabyte drives. You decide to add a 6 terabyte drive to it. Now sometimes you might think, oh, I'm going to get 12 terabytes out of that. When you look at the RAID calculator, you see you'll only get 6 terabytes. Now how does that work? So you can see on the slide there that if you're using the share RAID type, which is normally the basic, when you're setting up a NAS for the first time, share is highly recommended, especially using 2. And when you increase it, it still be shared. When you've got 3 drives, which is the minimum for RAID 5, which RAID 5 means you have 1 spare drive if anything goes wrong. You'll see there that even though putting the 6 terabyte drive in there, you still only got, you had 3 terabytes to start, and now you'll have 6. Let's further example. What happens if we add another 6 terabytes, another drive in there? Now you can see how the numbers change. If you're using share, you'll see that the number would increase to 12 terabytes of space with a redundancy or protection of 6 terabytes. And if you're using RAID 5, so remember RAID 5 is 1 spare drive, it takes the lowest size drive and calculates it. So that is 3 terabytes times 3, which means you only got 9 terabytes of usable space and 3 terabytes of protected space, which is the NAS drive. So as you can see from the RAID calculator, there is 6 terabytes of wasted space. So there you go. Synology has a beautiful tool. You'll see the URL below, and it calculates exactly what you would actually need, and you can change the RAID types depending on what you see fit. It's an awesome tool. If you really need to know what happens when you put new drives in there, put your current system in there. It gives you a multiple range of drives, and you add them, and you'll see how much available storage you'll actually gain by putting those drives in. So way number 2, increasing the storage of each drive. Now this is really, as I said, used if, for instance, you have a 2-bay NAS and using both drives and you need to do something about that. So the first thing you want to check out is your NAS drives hot swappable? Now what does it mean by hot swappable? Hot swappable means that if the NAS is running, you can easily just pull the drive out. It will still keep going. If it's not hot swappable, you actually have to down the NAS first, then change the drive and then power it up again. So if it's hot swappable, it just makes it easier when you're changing drives because you don't have to power it down anymore. Just change the drive as you see fit. So the first thing is to do is to replace the drives one by one. Now how to do that? First thing, you have to deactivate the drive because it'll be spinning at the time. You can just pull it out, but it doesn't hurt to actually deactivate it first. So this is done by going to Storage Manager, going to HDD, SSD, and then go across, select the drive, hit Action, and deactivate that drive. Once it's done, then you can pull that drive out. As I said, the next step is replace the drive. Now I'm putting it there just so you can get a warning. It might be common sense, but you take out the old drive and you put the new drive in there. Now this step is here, mute the beeps. When you take it out and you take the one drive out and put the new drive in there, the system will start beeping to you saying the storage has changed or degraded. Now it'll keep beeping at you, and the best way to do is to mute those beeps. This is done by, as soon as it's powered on, go to Control Panel, go to Hardware and Power. In the General tab, the mute button will be available. Click on that and then you won't be annoyed by the beeps. And the next thing is, once you've muted them, you need to repair the storage. So this is taken from the Synology Knowledge-Base. So it's followed exactly as it is. You go to the Storage Manager, go to HDD, SSD, and then you'll see it be degraded. Go to the three dots, hit repair, and just follow the prompts. Simple as that. Now you want to repeat the same process again for every single drive. So if you've got 2 drives, for instance, you need to do it twice. If you've got 4 drives, do it 4 times. And every time you might have to mute the beeps every single time this thing gets degraded. And the final step is increase the storage size. Now put the instructions here, and the reason why I won't read it just straight out now is that, for instance, you have 2 drives inside and they're 3 terabytes. Now what happens if you say increase them to 6 terabytes? You replace each drive to 6 terabytes. Now initially you had 3 terabytes of space. What would happen then is, even though you increase the physical hard drive to 6 terabytes times 2, it will still register as 3 terabytes. You actually have to go into the DSM. So you go to Storage Manager, go to Storage, go to the settings, and modify the size to actually use those 6 terabytes of space. So it doesn't do it automatically. It needs to do it afterwards. So that's why those instructions are there. And here's a slide, just so for your references, of all the stuff that we talked about with the URLs in there. The RAID calculator, which is the awesome place to find out how much storage you can ever get. And then the actual knowledge base links to actually how to replace the drives one by one, as well as how to increase the storage size. Now these links will definitely be in the description below, so you don't have to worry about finding them. And there you have it. This shows you the 2 simple ways to increase the storage for your NAS. Please leave a comment below, let me know what you think about the video and if you have any questions about it. And thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.